GearWebsite.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. So my co-host didn't tell me that, but Unapologetically Armed did. Thank you for the feedback. Let's start this whole thing over again. You probably heard the intro music, but then I said stuff about my co-host and how great he is at hosting the audio portion of the show and how it's his responsibility to keep the audio going and his job to keep the audio established in the first place. So we'll just move on from that, I guess. And then we've got a poll today over here. If you're watching this live, then you can take part in this poll. We've worked it out with YouTube that it is absolutely free to work the poll today. And as the puppy was saying, who wins the fight this week? Is it YouTube? Is it Instagram? Is it both? Or is it neither? And the puppy is going to monitor the poll over here. We've added a new screen to the studio here. He's going to pay a lot of attention to that for us. So don't worry about it. He'll be paying a lot of attention to that poll. You can participate right over here. All right, let's go. So first off, we're going to be taking a look at Instagram. That's what we do here. And after this, you might want to check out, I guess I need to start screen sharing here. After this, you may want to check out, wow, is it really taking that long? Sorry for this. I'm not even going to apologize for the lag because I'm blaming the co-host for the lag. Let's put this full screen. We'll put the puppy down in the puppy cam. You can watch the poll happen in here. You can watch the puppy. Exciting puppy action in the corner of the camera here. All right, good. So we're going to recommend that you check out Cape Gunworks and Rapid Fire Radio right after this show. it's a good show. It's one of my favorite things to listen to each week. They have some challenges right now in Massachusetts, so that's taken kind of the spotlight most weeks. But they talk to the people that call in and the people that are in the chat, and they talk about guns and Second Amendment issues. It's, I believe, one of the best all-around shows with kind of a heavy lean towards Second Amendment. Great stuff. All right, speaking of Second Amendment, we're going to take a look at our Instagram. And over on our Instagram channel, we've got a place where we save pictures. For example, I have a folder here for 9mm research and topics. So we have some science here that proves how much 9mm sucks. You can see scientific graphs that prove how bad 9mm is. But we'll close out of that one because nobody wants to go to that one. We're going to check out the stuff that I've saved throughout the week and use that to chat about what's going on and kind of monitor how we're doing as a community and as a industry and as a bunch of people who have, adversaries who want to focus on our property and sacrifice our ability to own property due to their ignorance. I don't mean that in a negative way, other than they're just not aware. Their ignorance and their crazy ideas. Let's just put it that way. That's a bad way to say it. I shouldn't say crazy ideas. They're ideas which are not thought through, and they're ideas that are knee-jerk. They're ideas that are reactionary as opposed to solutionary. I'm going to use solutionary because we're going to be talking about Maj today. All right, let's start with Susan. I don't know if this is probably last week's, but there's Unapologetically Armed hanging out with Paul Lathrop's wife. Then we've got some dude from Goal at the Gun Rights Policy Conference last week. I'm almost positive we looked at these last week. Oh, yeah, definitely. So this is who invented the art of biting cows in the face while he's in the rodeo. This is about the Connecticut rally that's happened on September 30th. Smeggy's out there shooting this many guns. FPC making fun of the ATF, or was that the FBI? No, that was making fun of every town. Alan Anker getting Bernie's endorsement. That was about the Roman Empire. And there we get the Chris's pup. I guess that's a girl pup. Hey, it's a girl puppy. It's a girl puppy right there. He don't care. But he has a nice little gizzard costume going there. Let's see. NSSF applauds Ted Cruz for addressing the bank discrimination of the firearms industry. Let's acknowledge that and keep moving, right? Ergo Grips saying, hey, just noticed that. That's a New Mexico company. All right, so this was from the 25th still. So, yeah, pretty much a week. But I still know what this is about. And this is faster at the Gun Rights Policy Conference in the lobby hotel. They refuse where it'll be next year or when it'll be, even though mobile are able to make reservations and plans accordingly at this point. But they refuse to tell us until 6 months if we're lucky from the event. So this was the first year they had this event, probably because they didn't reserve the last one in enough time, or I guess it burned. But the last day that they've held it in Phoenix, they've held it at 3 times, I think. At least I've been to it 3 times there. And this was the first time at this place, and it was all right. It seemed okay. Good parking. It's right next to the airport. Unapologetically Armed can tell us if it was loud because of the airport being right there, but usually they know how to soundproof these things. Anyway, in the lobby of this thing, the lobby between the rooms, they had all these tables set up, maybe 16 tables, maybe 20 tables, maybe, but more like 16. And they kind of spaced them out like that. I can't play the music, but we can watch these puppies. I think that's maybe some jeans. I'm thinking that's denim, because what else is going to be able to hold that many puppies up? Those are, I don't know, some kind of desert puppy. This was Seven. I had a puppy named Seven, and he was essentially one of these kind of dogs. We had a little bit more German Shepherd in them, but desert puppies are the best puppies. All right, then we get, at least for traveling around and doing stuff, they're the best puppies. This dog's okay for sitting around and essentially doing things that girl dogs would do. He's okay for that. Philadelphia Sheriff's Department misplaces 185 firearms, 76 of which were service weapons. So this is from our friends up in Pennsylvania, Keystone Freedom. Met them at the 2018 Gun Rights Policy Conference, or it might have been, I think it was, and then maybe a couple others when they were closer to his neck of the woods. But yeah, this is something that is often overlooked. The same appointed law enforcement will ignore their inability to keep their own guns, aware of where their own guns are. And this one, in this case, wasn't just a bunch of guns gone missing from the lost and found or evidence guns. This was, in fact, a whole bunch of them were their own guns. They're issued firearms. All right, so Kilo Niner, I think we looked at this one last week because we remember looking at all that. OD Woodland. So this one was from Pumpkin. I think we looked at that one last week too. So this is why I always end up running late, because I look at half of last week's show this week again. Unapologetically Arms post here. Don't ever be afraid to punch above your weight. If this is truly the battle you're meant to fight, then take heart. You're made exactly as you were meant to be to prevail. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's well said. Sure, I may be making this 2A advocacy thing up as I go, not knowing what I'm doing and all, but I'll be the first to openly admit that. But as those I'm pushing up against continued holding their hand on top of my head, laughing as I swing relentlessly in the air, coming up short to land a shot, rest assured that I'm watching, waiting for an opening. Do not underestimate my commitment to seeing gun-free zones removed from Missouri statute. A Republican majority legislator is keeping women disarmed over an ineffective, dangerous, not to mention unconstitutional policy that every anti-gun state now envies. Best get serious about removing them sooner than later. This is the battle I was meant to fight, just so you know. Well said. And I'd add that when you do that, even if you feel that it's futile or frustrating or an uphill battle or treading water, you're doing that with other people that are paying attention and are aware. So often an individual has to be the one to beat the trail, to lead the way, to create a path. And then once there's an established path, you're going to get those who will follow the path because there's a path and it's easy now and it's obvious. Or there's going to be, and I should say, there's going to be the people that go, oh, here's a better path. Now that I see what you did, here, I'll just second guess or, 20/20 hindsight and do it a different way. And then they'll do it. And then a couple other people will say, oh, I can just make my own path too. Then they'll do it. And then you got a whole bunch of paths, and then it'll be ruined and everybody destroyed the field and the forest to get to where they're going. And you got to go back and patch it all up. So it's never done, but somebody has to be the first one to go do that. And while it might seem like you're up against unsurmountable odds, it's just the nibbling away, the working that creates the change. So awesome. Thanks. Great post. Alan Anchor, I think this one's pretty good. I'm always scared to see barcodes anymore. Act like you didn't see that barcode. Let's not talk about that barcode. How to support your small business friends. Give them a shout out, 0. Follow their business page, 0. Tell people about their business page, 0. And in fact, tell your friends about their business page, because if your friends give a shit about what you give a shit about, they might actually give a shit about supporting people that are doing stuff that you value. So engage their posts, $0. Root for them. I don't think that means root beer. I think that means encourage them to keep doing their thing. $0. All that together costs $0. I think that's a great post, except for the barcode. I'm always scared to see barcodes these days. All right, so Gun Owners America. Obama began Operation Checkpoint to destroy the firearms industry, and those attacks continue today. This is a huge issue that Congress must address. Somebody's Safer Banking Act is clearly not the solution. why are some of the, what is that? Is GOP Republicans pretending it is? I don't know, GOP Republicans? Well, assholes. Nobody should be thinking that the way to mess with what the epidemic of violence is through business. That's another piece of evidence that they really only care about the property. They don't care about the consequences that they claim to, or I wouldn't be going this angle. But instead of that, they just, complain. Or our side just complains, I guess. A bipartisan group of senators voted to advance another bill to attack your Second Amendment rights. The rights protected by your Second Amendment is another way to say that. When most Americans were on their way to work or getting the kids to school, they voted to send Safer Banking Act to the Senate floor for a vote. If we had a scoreboard, these little shifts, these movements in the process would just be clicks on a board, and we would all understand the board, and we wouldn't have to think the sky is falling. We wouldn't have to read through a bullshit long-ass post with all kinds of useless graphics over here that attempt to tell us an update. Just give us a freaking update. Move a little light on a board. We don't need to be wasting everybody's time. That's why we're on Instagram, because we're hopefully doing this effectively, right? I've only got an hour here, for crying out loud. So this is from Woods. It says, watershed moment at work for this guy. These people are teachers. For years, kids have accidentally called teachers mom or dad. Imagine that's in Europe, without thinking, right? And then it says, today, one of my colleagues got referred to as Alexa. That's pretty funny. So soon we'll just have little robot butlers, and teachers will be robot butlers. I don't know what this is. Anybody know what this is from? Probably some comedy, but I think that was funny. There's probably some music. I'm not going to play it. It was just a guy standing there, and then like a billion arrows come and slam him from his forehead all the way down to his toes. He gets slaughtered by like a billion arrows, and he falls over backwards. It was just a weird. I wish there was a way to make Instagram bigger. So we're going to play the audio to this. Oh, shit, I keep getting copyrighted. This show never makes any scratch because I get copyrighted whenever I play Ed Manifesto stuff. So this is the 160th, which is the Special Operations Unit of the Air Force. Wait a minute. Yeah, Army. What am I saying? This is the 160th Army coming in, and these are the air crew that support all the special operations units of every type. So anything that has to be done risky or crazy dangerous with a helicopter, crazy fast, that gets done, accomplished by the 160th. So this is three little birds that come down and hit the parking lot. One of them goes inside a courtyard, and then that's a Black Hawk that came down into a little bit bigger parking lot. And they effectively come down, touch the ground, the dudes run out and jump onto them, and then they fly off. So kind of neat. And the question is, were they doing something, or were they just doing exercises? So pretty neat stuff. Usually they don't do exercises in the middle of places where everybody's watching and paying attention. So you can decide what you want to decide about that. Then we've got Connecticut. You ever heard of it? They have a rally on the 30th. It's already happened, but look at this. Excellent example of a rally poster. First off, they didn't throw a flag on the floor. They didn't have to write on a flag. In fact, there's a flag in it, but it's hardly even the main thing, because nobody has to remind each other that we live in this country. Wow, guess what? Gun people know where we live. They didn't even disgrace a flag. Amazing. Secondly, it tells you that there's 2-day rally at the Capitol. Right off the bat. Excellent graphic. Incorporates the picture in the background. It's got the date, Saturday, September 30th. Tells you the details are at their website. Call to action. Bring people to your own website off of the stupid social platform where they got gathered from. Excellent. Everything about this is excellent. 2023 level, elite level social media. This is what we're talking about. Now let's take a look at that picture. Totally appropriate. It's got the "Don't Tread on Me's." It's got this weird t-shirt saying "No Democrat, no Republican, just American." Right on, I guess. And then the flags, but they're discreet and they're appropriate. And they're actually respectful, except for the people that got parade flags hung like whatever, carrying them around. The people that have the actual flag with the Gadsden underneath of it, center with everything below it. Right on. It's awesome. In front of their Capitol, awesome. Showing the number of people there, awesome. It's not a fake ass picture. It's showing it from their head straight across, so you can see all the rows of people. You know that there's a lot of people. It also shows the building. It also frames it in such a way that you can use that excellent contrast for the text. Is it perfect? I think CDL wins the week and probably the year for having an effective rally poster. I hope the rally was a big success because it already happened. Let's see. So now we got Shoot Smart, which is a cool range series. It's a set of ranges down in Texas. I guess they're going to be at the Texas State Fair. That is, oh shit, it's a whole month. So I don't know, but state fairs are neat. A lot of people like them, and it's got a big cowboy-looking dude on it. So I figured I'd post a picture of this one or a link to this one. All right, so Tony in the diversity shoot's probably trying to copyright me, so I'm not going to play this one, but it gives you an idea of all the people that show up and the kind of fun time they have. And this one says October 5th, which is tomorrow, usually on Thursdays. It's 6 to 9 at the Gun for Hire range in Woodland Park. So that's where it all started. That's the Gun for Hire big rental range and now gun shop and everything in New Jersey, really close to New York. And they do a podcast. They've been super active in advocacy in New Jersey and helping Tony out. Coleon Noir posting this thing. How much time we got? There's a couple of Coleon ones I wanted to play. So this one is the syntax. And, you know, there's lots of different ways to play this. I think this is a respectful, you know, shows that they're super happy, right? Doesn't have to show anybody's nostrils. You're not looking up anybody's eyeballs or anything. And then he comes in and offers his kind of back and forth. So this one is actually pretty good. I'm not going to play all of his because I got a couple. But Coleon says something, then he lets Doofus do all his doofusing, and then he comes back and does Coleon comes back and does a rebuttal. So I really like the way he edited this one, let's say. These people look so fake. It's horrible. Goal, Get Out, Gun Owners Action League in Massachusetts. I don't know what's going on here, but at least we get an idea of the rally. I think this is the one that happened on the 27th of September, but don't quote me. No comments. What's up with that? Like, they're too busy to put a comment in there? Oh, unapologetically arms. I should probably pay attention to people that are joining us live. Sorry about that. Says, think it was raining at the CCDL rally. Didn't get a look at the crowd size. That's right on. I don't mind the rain. At least I don't mind rain. So I don't think I've seen anything that gives me any kind of picture of the CCDL rally. But 500 Magnum is out there. Good evening. Gizzard, welcome. Snob is out there. Ozzy is out there. Just 10B. Well done, well played. And he said bacon bit. So, or that person said bacon bit. I don't know if it's what's going on. So let's give the co-host a pat. I was going to give the co-host a biscuit. Oh, see, that will. Instead of giving him a biscuit because you did the hashtag bacon bit, why don't we let him shove his face into this bag of kibble? That's lamb kibble. It's one of his favorite things to do. Just eat a bunch of lamb kibble. I may or may not be swimming in open boxes here. I need a George cam for my lives. Yeah, you do. I don't know why you don't get a... Here, look it. This is how you do it. Let me put this on the main screen. Teach Gizzard how you get this done. There we go. So this is a robot arm that Charles Heller gave me. Comes out of the radio station that he worked at, or works at. Right? So that's the robot arm, and it comes up off the desk behind this laptop. Up off behind the desk off that laptop. Then it's a big, strong arm. That's what the microphone is attached to. And then this camera is just attached to the microphone. And then the co-host comes running over. He's now got a cool little staircase next to me, so he can run up the staircase, run across my lap, run up onto his little place. He doesn't even wait for me to do nothing. He's just up here today. As soon as he hears the Gear Websites commercial, he comes running over here. So he's literally a co-host at this point. And then, of course, I have a vertical monitor from Dell. You can buy that on Amazon. I have a link for it if you want. And that's where we got the, what do you call this? The free poll today that he's monitoring. He's looking in a mirror over here at the poll. Don't worry, he's paying attention to that poll. All right, so then we'll put the puppy cam back up using StreamYard. Okay, so way to go. Right on. And thanks everybody for the feedback on the audio. It turned out I didn't have any audio for the first half of the show. All right, so we're looking at the what do you call this thing? The poll, and it looks like YouTube is winning the fight this week, or neither. I don't know what neither means, so you'll have to leave some comments on what neither means. Like they both punch each other and they both fall over, or they both agree that violence isn't the answer. That's up to you to leave a comment. If you're voting neither, then you got to explain yourselves. Next up is gun policy. This is that one meme. I guess it's from a movie. I really don't know. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, this is from probably Jurassic Park, huh? I don't remember which Jurassic Park, but I'm assuming it's from Jurassic Park. Anyway, let's see. Extreme House Republicans want to take 70 ATF agents off the beat as a condition of keeping the government open. And then FPC is making fun of them. I don't know. I think a cartoon would have done better because this is too distracting. You had to know what this meme is and stuff. I guess the kids like it. Still laughing at this White House post. Nope, not enough. I don't know what that means. So I don't know. I guess they're happy that 70 agents are getting put down because of the whatever budget or something. Los Angeles Police Museum says we're going to be closed to prep for our shooting competition. What? On Thursday, 9/28. Grateful for your understanding. So I don't know what that is. I think I follow them, but I don't remember a shooting competition. I'm sure it's not at the place, but anyway, that's cool. It's in Los Angeles. It's a police museum. It's one of the best museums. Well, it's not the best museum. It's a very good museum. If you're in Los Angeles, I would recommend going to it. But it is a really cool museum. They just don't have a lot of guns there. But it's cool that they've got interest in the shooting competition, whatever that means, and that they're accommodating it. So I think that's cool. I don't know enough about it. This one's awesome. So Battle Patch is one of the companies out there making patches, and this one says civilians, you can't taste a photo, and then it says me, and then I don't know if you know, but every single one of these canteens has been made by blind. That everything about it is from people that are blind. These are made in Washington by Lighthouse for the Blind. They've made them for every branch forever. So as long as if you've ever drank out of one of these canteens, that's a real one, then not one of the Chinese garbage ripoffs of it, then you've bought something from Lighthouse for the Blind made by blind people. So, and if you've ever drank out of one of these, then you can taste a photo. So it's just a photo of the, it's when special bonus points if you know which model of canteen this is. But this is the biological, the nuclear biological NBC version of the canteen. This little flappy thing at the top is an interface to plug into your hose, which will plug into your mask, and then you can drink out of this while you got your gas mask on, or your NBC gear on, really, your mop gear. So it's a horrible, 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 horrible set of memories for a lot of people. Uncomfortable, horrible memories. And if you had to wear them for real, then even worse. But you can definitely taste that plastic in there. Let's listen to what's her face here. We'll start from
life's
the beginning.
Mission for me.
So a lot of people want to respect somebody who for an entire lifetime tried to scapegoat gun owners and our property. And of course, disrespect or at least diminish the rights that are protected by the piece of paper that's pretty important.
Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein says she will not run for re-election in 2024.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, I would have done it. It is a life's mission for me.
I've seen killing. I know what these guns can do.
Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. The question is, do we fight or do we knuckle under? We're not knuckle unders. We're just not going to knuckle under. Pledge to do my level best to ban the manufacture, sale, and possession of semi-automatic assault weapons. It's the big clips. Ban big clips, drums, or strips. Big clips, drums, or strips. Going to get these guns off the street. It's a killer weapon. This is the coup capital of the United States. Violent video games. Violent video games. Some of which are diabolical, like Doom. I'm not going to lay down and play dead. The NRA says guns don't kill people. People kill people. Well, there's always going to be people. I'm not a sixth grader. Based on my experience, and I think, well...
So they're going to copyright me with their fucking music. But I think this was, except for the music part, assholes, this was a great effort to archive a bunch of her garbage, right? Her just spew of garbage rhetoric. But it also shows her her falling. She just became from a fake puppet to a shell to a regurgitating mockingbird or whatever. She's just, you could tell she was a shell. And I think that is, this is the one organization that loves to show you people's eyeballs and nostrils. I think that's a focus on how little she put into this, that it was all just reflex. It was all just tradition. Nothing was thought of. Nothing was changed over the years. Her same position, like anything. What exists, that same solution over decades and decades. She didn't change an inch of it, other than to change the names of things. So anyway, preaching to the choir. She's a jerk. A lot of people suggesting that she deserves some lot more respect, or leave her alone, or any of that. Nah. So it's only the time you're going to get to get people to understand, or to have stuff get posted out there with the wave of other stuff that's going to be added to the internet with her. A lot of it's going to be propaganda and dismissing all of her crazy antics or horrible things. All right, so I can't play the music again, but that's another view of the 160th coming in. It doesn't say where this was. It just says downtown for a training exercise. So you can see why this would be so dangerous, not just because of the crazy winds and the flow of air through the buildings in an environment like this, not the normal wind and normal airflow set aside. Then you got things like breezes and stuff, and then the way they behave and the way you get vortexes and stuff around buildings is all insane. But now think about everybody who's sitting outside of a thing with a casual paper airplane to throwing a rock to doing all the other stuff. It's super dangerous. It's beyond dangerous. So interesting to see it happen. So disregard this because you see it happen so fake in movies all the time. You think this actually happened, but this is not happening very often. It's pretty neat.
President of the National African Gun Association. Today I want to talk about something that I think is near and dear to me and to a lot of folks out there, and that is parenting, and why it is so critical for mom and dad, or whatever your family situation is, to take your little ones to the range and to show him or her to learn how to shoot. And this is the reason why, and this is very subjective. There's no objectivity in this, and I don't care if it isn't, but this is what I believe, and I think a lot of you are definitely believing what I'm saying right now. It is very, very important as a model to your child for them at an early age to start understanding the value and importance of the Second Amendment. And there is no better model than a mom and a dad shooting on the range and that child watching them and saying, that's okay to do. And it's not only okay, it's part of my rights as an American citizen. That's a powerful image that we all need to make sure that our children see. I can talk all I want about how important it is to go shoot to my children. Get a gun when you get older, but there's nothing more relevant to that child from their eyes see mom and dad shooting on the range. You don't even have to say anything to them. It's already in their head that guns are okay. if used in the right way. So I would encourage all of my parents, and I don't care what color you are, I don't care how you vote, take your children to the range with you. Show them how to shoot. And when you're showing them how to shoot, tell them the reasons why you're shooting this gun. Tell them the importance of why you're shooting this gun, and tell them how they got to this place of shooting a gun. The folks that have died for them to have that right. That is critically important as a mother and a father. And I'm a dad. I've made sure my children have been exposed to guns in a very organized and focused process so they understand the Second Amendment. Certainly, hopefully you guys got some energy out of that, and hopefully you parents can go out there and take your kids and start that process.
Fucking epic. I think that's one of the best messages all month. Well, not this month, in a while. Awesome. So, like, just dead on. And I won't reiterate. It's just, it's a great message. Mike is saying I need to get out to the LA Police Museum, LAPD Museum as soon as I can. Yeah, like they're open most days, and it's just right on the side of the road. It's an old police station, so there's nothing fancy there. It's easy to park, and I forget how much it costs. It costs something. It might have been like $20, but yeah, definitely give it an afternoon. You're going to want to spend probably 3 hours there. I'd spent maybe a little bit more than that, but there's stuff to see. Let's see. So now we got this thing happening in September 30th, so I missed it. But so Katie is the one who posted this, and GOA now has Antonia, and Empowered 2A is showing up in Detroit to do a women's range day. 30 spots left, and they're going fast. And then, so I guess it's a kind of a different version of a orientation thing, except geared at women, and in Lansing, which is Detroit, right? So it's free. If you're not a member, no worries. We have a special intro. Wait, it's free for members. If you're not a member, it's $20. GOA makes millions of dollars. They seriously need to charge people who are introducing themselves to guns $20? I don't get it. But, that happened. So are they going to do this constantly? Is this going to happen every weekend? GOA is a big organization. There's 3 people here. How often is this happening? I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what's happening with that. OG Pumpkins got these embroidered patches over at Tactical Outfitters, a patch place out of California. They've had our patches in the past. Good dudes. They usually have a whole island at a gun show, all patches, maybe a hat or two, but mostly like 99% patches. And they do runs and support folks like OG Pumpkin and things like that. So definitely worth checking out. I don't know why Smeggy's showing off his safe. He's crazy. But this was pretty cool. That's the picture I was looking for. He has this version of a patch panel hanging off of his safe handle. Kind of cool. Good selection of patches on there.
Here's the policy change.
This is worth listening to, so I'll give everybody a second. We've got about 16, 17, 20 minutes before Rapid Fire Radio starts up. So I think I'm on good pace for today. Let's see. I guess we're going to listen to this one, then we'll see where we're at with the in the list today.
Changes that the individual branches now don't get to charge CCWs. All charging of CCWs under DA Summer Steffen's pilot program will now be done by their Special Operations Unit. That is the same unit that determines police shootings. We are more similarly situated with police officers using their firearms than we are with people that are unlawfully carrying a firearm. That's true. And using their firearms. And so it was a huge win for the CCW community. Here's the policy change. Policy change is that the individual branches now don't get to charge CCWs. All charging of CCWs under DA Summer Steffen's pilot program will now be done by their Special Operations Unit. That is the same unit that determines police shootings.
So I think what that's saying is they were able to kind of go a different route or strategy with justification for the position of having CCW, I think that's what they're saying. And they're saying that since you're using your police department's resources to do our background check, then we're closer to being police than we are criminals. And that's an interesting angle when you look at states like Massachusetts, where Toby will tell you they put the CCW database in the same database as the criminal database. So they're sort of, flip-flopping it from California's flip-flopping it from Massachusetts, if I'm understanding that correctly.
And another caller. Caller, please state your name and why you're calling.
Hey, this is Ryan McDonald. I just had a question for Senator Durr.
Man, I wish I had time. Man, I really want to play this. I'm going to play this because this is what you want your senators to be about.
Sure.
There's a senator in New Jersey. It says, this guy, Edward, whoever, delivers a humbling response to my question. The senator is right and responds unlike any other politician in the nation. New Jersey is lucky to have him. So I found this from New Jersey First, to a organization that I follow. So here.
Right.
Hey, I remember reporting on your great legislation you proposed last year to the New Jersey Senate. It was a heartbeat bill, concealed carry bill, and a repeal of the extreme risk of protection order. And at the time, I knew that there wasn't anybody joining on with you from either party. I was wondering if anybody has joined with you on those bills.
Yeah, there's been, I believe, some of that has been picked up by other members in the legislature. I think, I freely admit that maybe one of the things I did wrong when I introduced bills is I just introduced them. I think the best method was to go and, introduce them to the fellow legislatures. And I think a lot of them don't know about my bill. So I need to go back around and, inform them of what I have and what my thoughts are. And I think you'll see a difference. And I think that was one of the mistakes I made early on.
Well, your experience, you learn, and now you know how to. It's a system. You have to work the system.
Yes, you have to do it right. But and we're going to continue to.
All right, I'll let it go because it's a little bit longer. But I think that kind of gets you the essence of it. That he learned from being in office and being accessible like this on a radio show, podcast, whatever it is. He is answering honestly to the continue of his figuring that out and how he's going to go forward the next time around. Pretty cool. We don't get that
as
too much in Arizona.
I have respect for a lot of Senator Feinstein's accomplishment.
So there's Chris trying to be really nice about Feinstein and how much of a jerk she is. Probably got further to letting people know that care about Feinstein than I ever will. But there's different ways to post about her end, I guess, or her last days or whatever. Ugh, whatever. So now we can talk about better things like the puppy from Cape Gun Works. So Toby is one of the owners of Cape Gun Works, the gun shop and shooting range in Massachusetts, and they do the Rapid Fire radio show. And Toby's puppy is Arlo, and this is Arlo. Turns out he got in trouble for eating an employee lunch, but I think he's okay after all that. Puppy did not like to see that. He sat up. A girl in a gun club. It says Fall Fest is right around the corner. Getting super colorful targets on stage will be painted to reflect our logo. I thought that was cool. That's a good color, blue, and I guess it's cool to put it with purple. Got Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know if he's there's Ozzy. Doing Every Second Matters. So Every Second Matters is an awareness campaign. We started it, a group of maybe 24 people were hanging out on the regular. Well, I'm sure there was a lot more than 24 people. 24 people would hang out in the chats, 10 at a time, 12 at a time. I forgot what it was back then. But, maybe 20-something people were really watching. This was an era when the internet was giving us the ability to communicate together in live conversations, these community chats way before Zoom or anything like that. 2011, it came to YouTube, and by 2012, we pretty much had established shows and channels and cliques and groups and stuff. We're hanging out and chatting, and we were all aware through our audiences of what each other were chatting about. So the online conversation was evolving from chat rooms from video presentations to now live conversations. And as all that was happening, Obama said his reaction to the atrocities in Connecticut was to use executive action, 27 executive actions that he threatened to end gun rights or gun owners' rights through executive action. So the bunch of people were paying attention to his effectiveness and ineffectiveness, right? So we could kind of monitor and understand what was going on. That's when a whole bunch of rallies happened. A bunch of the state rallies started up then. Never Enough Ammo, who doesn't do that much stuff like this anymore, was one of the people that got a whole bunch of rallies going by attempting to get one going in Texas, and then immediately nobody could get to Texas, so it became let's start rallies in our own states. And what happens when a whole bunch of people start rallies in their own states? Like I said before, we're not talking about somebody beating a path. And I could go back and watch this. You can go watch all this happen live. But a bunch of people went out and said, I can't get to Texas for the rally, so I'll do a rally in my state. They start to tell people we're going to do a rally in my state. And some people say, let's do it. They got on board. Other people say, no way, I'm never going to do that. Here's why. And then a bunch of fucking people say, we can do it our own way. And they do their own rally and divide and create either two rallies or they take over. And it turned into, imagine, how many 17 different results from that. So we saw a lot of that, and that got people pissed. It got people stronger. It created communities. It divided communities, but it happened. And, so that all happened in 2013. And while that was all happening, we saw that Obama was not effective. His executive actions would be released on a Friday afternoon. They'd have very little effect or no effect at all. He would attempt to beat his chest and suggest that he was so good because he accomplished these things that he claimed he was going to earlier in the year. But those of us that were paying attention were concerned that the apathy that was happening was going to result in a lack of resistance. Like when we needed to, if he was going to do some like sucker punch at the end, we weren't going to be ready for that. We had so many ineffective blows, ineffective punches by him with his executive actions that people were getting complacent, and Every Second Matters was their answer to that. It was a bunch of people understanding that we can't just bring people together by the drop of a hat. There's no magic on the internet. There's no unifying message. We don't live in some like where we can just get together. Am I breaking up? We can't just together and work together. So Second Matters was to accomplish monthly at awareness, so that when we need to get together, there's channels to do so that if we ever get attacked, we have talked together before, and those people that have communicated about this can have a communication channel to get back together. So we modeled Every Second Matters in about 3 or 4 different get-togethers. We just all said, hey, this is a good idea. Let's not let this go to the Netherlands. Let's actually put this together and make a thing. So we decided to do it as best we could, and we did maybe 3 shows or something. I can't remember anymore. It was a long time ago. And we decided to create a thing. We emulated Pink Pistols, which is an organization that doesn't have any infrastructure. If you want to be in Pink Pistols, you're in Pink Pistols. If you want to be in Every Second Matters, you're in Every Second Matters. Like, as long as you're doing something that isn't weird, then Every Second Matters is an awareness campaign. It's just a way to remember on the second of each month what our Second Amendment protects. And however you want to do that, whatever it means to you, the idea is to keep that pulse going so that if we ever need to, it's something we can all gather. It's a place that we can all gather if we need to for defense or for, awareness. And in the meantime, it keeps, it gives an opportunity. It creates a mechanism for whatever people might want to do. And over the, how many years is 2013 already? It's about to be 10 years, right? Over that time, people have done all kinds of different projects, all kinds of different approaches. So Ozzy has posted, what gun is this? I don't know guns anymore. An X10, so some sort of 10 micrometer gun. And a Sig Sauer P320 X10. So it's a Sig I guess I could see in there. And what on top of the Second Amendment on some kind of probably a cleaning pad or something, and then with the one of the Second Matters patches there. So thanks for keeping the campaign alive, the thing going, and like anything, like any river, it just needs to exist so that when the flood comes, it's got a channel to go down. It doesn't need to be a running river every time, but the people that keep it going are vital. I really appreciate the people that are. None of the original people are around anymore, I don't think. Could be wrong, but it's a phenomenon that's existed through multiple generations of people that just probably completely unaware of each other. So it's been a neat thing to watch happen over the years. I know there's a couple other people that watch it that hardly ever participate, but every once in a while they'll come out of the say, "Oh yeah, I'm still here." They never do anything, but whenever somebody says, "Who's here?" they'll come out and say, "I'm here." Anyhow, so this is Stephen Holbrook, one of our researchers and authors and people who are paying attention, have been paying attention for a while. And it says, in my own native state of Massachusetts, the battle for American freedom has begun by the thousands of, or for American freedom was begun by the thousands of farmers, tradesmen who made up the Minutemen, citizens who were ready to defend their liberty at a moment's notice. Today, we need a nation of Minutemen, citizens who are not only prepared to take up arms, but citizens who regard the preservation of freedom as a basic purpose of their daily life, and who are willing to conscientiously work and sacrifice for that freedom. The cause of liberty, the cause of America, cannot succeed with any lesser effort. I guess that's a quote by Kennedy in 1961 on Roosevelt Day. I don't even know what that is. So this says President Kennedy shooting at skeet at Camp David in 1961. So it's got Kennedy, shooting a shotgun. And then it says Kennedy inspects an M16 and a crossbow in the Oval Office in 1961. So it's kind of neat, I guess. But every president, I'm assuming, has seen the rifles. Reality always wins. Let's see. We got Professor Yamane saying, writing my book chapter on gun training has allowed me to revisit some of my significant courses, the many significant courses I have taken, and the interesting people I have met in my journey through American gun culture, including, I think he meant to say Masada Ayub, and Phil Wong, and then Rob Latham. So I didn't realize. Maybe I had seen before, but anyway, everybody knows Masada Ayub. And then that's the professor. But this dude is Phil Wong, and he's here in Tucson. So I didn't know that. He hangs out with Masada Ayub all the time. He's a instructor. So I think he can instruct people to be instructors for Masada Ayub's group. But so he hangs out with Mas all the time. But I had no idea that the professor knew him. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Did everybody know that you can register for SHOT Show already? So SHOT Show registration opens in October, and they start sending out emails at some point in October, but you can already register. They usually have everything set up a few weeks early. And you'll notice that a lot of people will post their, I got registered or whatever posts. Anyway, so now SHOT Show is out there announcing it essentially. They say SHOT Show is now the 8th largest trade show in America, according to trade show executives just released Gold 100 rankings. The rankings are based on trade shows held throughout the United States in 2022 and are measured by square feet. It says owned and operated by NSSF, the Industry Trade Association. SHOT Show is the annual trade show of the shooting, hunting, outdoor, and law enforcement industries. After having to cancel its 2021 show due to the bullshit, the 2022 show featured the event's largest floor plan ever with 804,000 square feet of exhibit space, up from 676 in 2020. So it went up 130 or approximately 25% or something. The SHOT Show is the only trade show in the United States. I don't like saying America, by the way. There's the North America, there's South America, there's Central America. We're all the Americas. This whole hemisphere is the Americas. So I think it's lazy and sloppy to say America. I'm going to keep saying North America, or I'm going to say United States. So the only trade show in the United States to grow by 20% in 2022, which was quite the feat after having to cancel the 2021, says Chris, whoever, senior vice president of blah, blah, blah. That's a testament to the amazing industry we serve, and we're thankful for this great honor by trade show executives recognizing the show's growth. In addition to its exhibit space at the Venetian, it expanded over into the Caesars, which is one that's like whatever, 1,200 square feet, or 120,000 square feet, with the two facilities connected by a footbridge, which is bullshit. You have to go outside and walk over this bridge, which is scary. So, yeah, I don't know if they're going to cover that or what. This expanded floor plan allowed more companies than ever to exhibit at the show, but it also means you have to walk quite a bit more, because while they act like there's more space, they're not connected to each other unless you walk like a quarter mile. So you got to walk a quarter mile to get to the other space and then walk around in the other space. So until they put like moving carpets or whatever those things are called, like at the airports, or little carts or some kind of bus system, maybe a tube. What if you stood into a tube, kind of like a really narrow elevator, and then that tube would suck you using vacuums up into the ceiling areas, shoot you across, and now you'd be able to look down from the ceiling because the tube would be clear, and you'd be able to zip across the whole place and essentially see everything from a bird's eye view, seeing where all your stuff is or that you need to get to, and then just poop you out on the other side of the tube. And then that would be a way to do it, I guess. Then you wouldn't have to walk so far, and you'd actually get a pleasant rest while you were in the tube. So I think that might be the way to go. Anyway, it's now the third largest trade show in Las Vegas. That's up from the fifth largest. So that means either we got bigger or other shows went away. That's the question. So just saying we're now the third largest is interesting, but I'm curious if we got bigger or the other. So it says we'll return to Vegas January 23rd to the 26th. Me and Clover do a show on Tuesdays. If you want to know more about SHOT Show, if you're thinking about attending, why don't you get paid to go to SHOT Show? That's the funnest way to go to SHOT Show. 2A cops. This is an excellent post. So these are these guys who were cops in, let's say California, because I can't remember if they were both in San Francisco or not. But they're two cops that have retired and now they live elsewhere. So they do a channel to let people know some insight from the cop on the streets point of view, and mostly about Second Amendment issues. I'm hovering the Cape Gunworks show here. It's ready. They're getting ready to go live, so we're not corking anybody here. So these 2A cops do mostly YouTube, and they're doing pretty good on YouTube. But this is their Instagram post, and it says, if you lost count, you got... Okay, so what it is the... I forget what movie this is, and it goes, I've got 5 guns. And then this lady's going, I've got 15 guns. And then this girl is saying, I got 40 guns. And then this guy's saying, oh, you guys actually know how many guns you have? And that's legit. So I think a lot of people haven't figured that out yet, but you don't have a lot of guns, period. Let's just put it that way, until you've gotten to a level where you don't know how many guns you got. So you can have more guns. All right, there it goes. Technically, we're corking somebody now. Technically, but, who's going to say anything? We're almost done, though. That actually might be the last one. No, we got Gizzard doing his Every Second Matters post. I don't know how he did this magic, but I thought that was a pretty good post. Says, take a right. You're right. Everybody's right. Spread the word and share the message about the Second Amendment and the right to keep and bear arms. Every second matters. Right on. Thanks for that. Gun policy, FPC, posting this thing where it's like a Brady Bunch looking thing with a whole bunch of pictures of the fall. And it goes, I just can't wait for the fall of, and then it says the ATF. So using the old bait and switch there. My warehouse has a decent inventory list. What are we talking about? Is he digging that street sign one? I don't know, he probably used the AI for it, or else he's getting really good at the Photoshop.
Jim, the water board guy is going to run for city council at some point, and when he goes from city council
This is super good to listen to. Toby's actually going live, but we'll let this guy say this thing because this is great.
He's going to go to state assembly, and when he goes from state assembly, he might bounce back to county supervisor or go up to state senate. And they all start so local. If you haven't educated, forget about for a moment advocacy, but if you haven't educated them on the Second Amendment, if you haven't educated them on firearm safety, they're going to get their education from someplace. And typically that is an anti-Second Amendment, anti-gun safety organization, whether it's Everytown or Moms Demand Action or whatever. It's going to come from the other side. And then by the time they can get to a point where they can cause a problem, which is typically city council or then certainly at the state level, they're so influenced, you can't even have that conversation with them logically and factually. They've bought into the dogma on the other side. Jim,
there's been a couple of good ones. Having Phil talk about bringing your kids to the range and how fundamental that can be for the normalization of gun ownership and firearms use. This one is epic also. Talking to representatives who are at the lesser levels, understanding that every politician starts at the lesser levels. So there's no futility there. Talking to the least of the elected officials about just awareness of guns, the actual facts of guns, gives them an inoculation against the bullshit propaganda they're going to be fed when they get nothing from our side and only the bullshit lies from the other side. This is an epic post. There's a reason I do this, because there's awesome stuff happening, but people put it on Instagram because it's so short and sweet and easy to get across. But I'm trying to spread it onto YouTube here, because on YouTube, we're so long format that the stuff gets mixed in. Even this, 45 minutes, an hour into the show. Some pictures from Gun Rights Policy Conference from Alex from Forge of Freedom. I like to see pictures of the actual event, so thanks for that. To see, how many people were actually there, how full it was, how attentive they were, how old they are, what race they are, what color they are, whatever, what sex they are. So, we're not seeing a ton of diversity, let's say. But what are we going to do? Goal, this is Carrie Ann taking over as sort of the marketing, I believe, doing the social media for Goal, Gun Owners Action League. And no flags are damaged in this post. It says, my goal provides professional firearm safety to people from all walks of life. What's your goal? I think that's such an awesome play on words and a great campaign, to let people participate in. So, I think that's the end of them. And, Cass is saying, I would definitely think talking guns to kids young helps remove the mystery and combats misinformation. Philip was saying, take them to the range, just have mommy and daddy take them to the range, mommy and daddy at the range shooting as a thing to do on the weekend or whatever normalizes them effectively, right? Just guns are another thing. If you went to the state fair, that's normalized. If you rode a horse or something one weekend, it's not scary anymore. You've done it with your parents. That's sort of the idea. So, we all know that guns are good. He was saying, take it that extra step and take them to the range with you. Anyway, so it's good. Those are some points. But now Toby's live over at Cape Gun Works. I'm going to drop the link to the show in here. We're already ultra linked to it on the YouTube side. So you'll be directed over there. We'll end the poll real quick, because that is going over here behind the puppy. Let's bring the puppy up. Puppy up, puppy up. Pup, 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 up. Pup, 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 pup. Oh, he's sleeping. Okay, he woke up a little bit. Boom, the poll is over. YouTube's won, neither. So a bunch of hippies voted. A bunch of people like YouTube. Nobody likes Instagram, and nobody likes both Instagram and YouTube. So kind of typical. Kind of typical. But what isn't typical is that the bottom of the screen has said this whole time, our projects make projects like our Patreons make projects like this possible. Thank you. And then it links to our Patreon channel, which is just patreon.com/gunwebsites. Then it says type hashtag BaconBit in the text chat for a chance to win a patch. And if we look over here, there was only one person. I even mentioned it earlier, and I went like this, and I went like this. Oh, look who woke up. And the dog eventually, he doesn't like eating anymore. He doesn't like eating. You don't want to eat that food? You don't like eating that food. You gotta put that food away. You don't like this food. But anyhow, only one person put in the bacon bit there. So we'll jam this over here. How big is this going to be? Oh, look at that. One entry. This isn't the old-fashioned show. This is the one where we have the hashtag going. So want to be part of this? Is this happening? Is this happening? I can't even push the button. It won't even let me push the button because there's only one entry. Look how sad he is. Oh, there's two entries now. Gizzard is on there. Oh, I got to send Gizzard stuff anyway, so this could work out to everybody's advantage. Act like this is working out to your advantage. There's only 2 people voted so far, 2 people in on this. Come on, buddy, can you at least speak up a little bit for this? Because he's second worst co-host. Third worst co-host. Bob would at least show up for the show and be awake for most of it, and he'd be awake for the giveaway part. All right, so that's it. So then we else is entering. So for the people that are listening to this in the future, there's been a bottom of the screen saying if you type in hashtag BaconBit, you're in on this. And everybody that's listening live is like, nah, I'm not going to type on that. I'm not going to type. It's a lot of letters to type in there. I got to put a hashtag in there. That means I hit the key. It's a lot of work. So a lot of people chose not to participate. BaconBit's kind of sad, but we got 3 people. Like White jumped in on it. Gizzard is in on it. And dude from before, person from before who we don't know, is in on it. So no dog bites on the screen. Come on, buddy. Now we got 4 people. Now I feel better about clicking it. I'm clicking it. Here we go. We're going to... Hold on. Where's my mute? Man, I can't find my mute. I've got so many monitors here. Where's my mouse at? Come on. There it is. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. It's because this monitor is for some reason magnified huge today. It's working to our advantage. I didn't do this. This just turned on super magnified today. I don't know what happened. But now we can click the draw button. I should have made the dog do it. He's ignoring who's winning. Come on. Be more respectful than that, buddy. Oh, it's Gizzard. Snap. I already needed to send stuff to Gizzard. So I don't know what he won, but it'll be something good. It'll be something good. It says a patch. So it'll be some sort of a patch. We'll get some kind of a patch. I'll let Gizzard decide the patch. I got to decide the patch he sent me last time. So we'll let Gizzard decide the patch this time. All right. So that was completely random. We used the robots. Robots aren't affected by us. It just happened to pay off big time for me since I already had to send Gizzard something anyway in the mail. I'm using Gizzard's modem here, by the way. If you can see underneath it here, there's some blue lights up underneath it here. That's a Gizzard modem. We're using Gizzard Net to connect to the internet. All right, buddy, sit back down. All right, somebody's getting really antsy. He does not want to sit down anymore. He's being bad. Here's why. Because of... Come on, buddy. I'm telling him right now. Because they're trying to change the definition of being engaged as a dealer in business of firearms. So we only have 82,000 comments over there. It started on September 7th, and it ends in 64 days. So we've got about 64 days for this comment period for us to mobilize, to work together, and to challenge the concept that if you make any profit at all from the sale of a firearm, that somehow you are obligated to get a license, which they won't give you because you're not in the complete business of firearms, creating a catch-22, a situation that's not solvable so that it stops people effectively from selling firearms individually and therefore using a loophole in the law other than actual legislation to create a situation that's like a law. And it's bullshit. So you can be aware of this. You can make comments, but I'd encourage you to tell people who are sitting around on their ass not doing shit about this to be aware of it. People that think you don't need to practice are the people that never practice, right? People that understand that this is practice. This is an ability for us to all work together. And when we challenge them on this type of court, in this type of game, we have fewer challenges in other forums. So we can ignore this at our peril, or we can pay more attention to it. We'll end this one and let you head over to Cape Gunworks, which I am technically officially porking at this point, so I'm being rude here. But I'm blaming my co-host. He made the show last a long time, and it's not my fault. So you can head over to Cape Gunworks, Rapid Fire Radio, and we'll be back probably Saturday to chat with Clovertack and Tony Simon about all the stuff we didn't chat about this last Saturday. Thanks again for everybody for playing and being part of the show. And if you're listening in the future as a podcast, we go live on this show typically 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.